Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. All thanks and praise are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may His peace and blessings be upon His last and final messenger, His family, His companions, and those who follow them until the end of times. Welcome to lesson number 70 of Tafsir al-Jalalayn. Alhamdulillah, yesterday we were able to explore verses 96 to 105 of Surah al-Ma'idah. So inshallah today we're going to pick up right where we left off with verse number 106. So I'm going to have our dear and beloved student Abdul Razak recite the second paragraph on this page, after which then I will translate and comment. So go ahead and start us off for today, Ya Abdul Razak. Bismillah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال الإمام السيوطي رحمة الله عليه: يا أيها الذين آمنوا شهادة بينكم إذا حضر أحدكم الموت، أي أسبابه، حين الوصية اثنان ذوا عدل منكم، خبر بمعنى الأمر أي ليشهد، وإضافة الشهادة لبين على الاتساع، وحين بدل من إذا أو ظرف لحضر، أو آخران من غيركم أي غير ملتكم، إن أنتم ضربتم سافرتم في الأرض فأصابتكم مصيبة الموت تحبسونهما توقفونهما، صفة آخران من بعد الصلاة أي صلاة العصر، فيقسمان يحلفان بالله إن ارتبتم شككتم فيهما، ويقولان لا نشتري به بالله ثمنا عوضا نأخذه بدله من الدنيا بأن نحلف به أو نشهد به كاذبا لأجله، ولو كان المقسم له أو المشهود له ذا قربى قرابة منا لا نكتم شهادة الله التي أمرنا بإقامتها، إنها إذن إن كتمناها لمن الآثمين، فإن عثر اطلع بعد حلفهما على أنهما استحقا إثما، أي فعل ما يوجبه من خيانة أو كذب في الشهادة، بأن وجد عندهما مثلا ما اتهما به، وادعيا أنهما ابتاعاه من الميت أو وصى لهما به، فآخران يقومان مقامهما في توجه اليمين عليهما من الذين استحق عليهم الوصية وهم الورثة، ويبدل من آخران الأوليان بالميت أي الأقربان إليه، وفي قراءة الأولين جمع أول صفة أو بدل من الذين، فيقسمان بالله على خيانة الشاهدين، ويقولان شهادتنا يميننا أحق وأصدق من شهادتهما يمينهما، وما اعتدينا تجاوزنا الحق في اليمين، إنا إذا لمن الظالمين. المعنى: يشهد محتضر على وصية اثنين أو يوصي إليهما من أهل دينه أو غيرهم إن فقدهم لسفر ونحوه، إن ارتاب الورثة فيهما فادعوا أنهما خانا بأخذ شيء أو دفعه إلى شخص زعم أن الميت أوصى له به، فليحلفا إلى آخره، فنطلع على أمارة تكذبهما فادعيا دافعا له، حلف أقرب الورثة على كذبهما وصدق ما ادعوه، والحكم ثابت في الوصيين منسوخ في الشاهدين، وكذا شهادة غير أهل الملة منسوخة، واعتبار الصلاة العصر للتغليظ، وتخصيص الحلف في الآية باثنين من أقرب الورثة لخصوص الواقعة التي نزلت لها، وهي ما رواه البخاري أن رجلا من بني سهم خرج مع تميم الداري وعدي بن بداء أي وهما نصرانيان، فمات سهمي بأرض ليس فيها مسلم، فلما قدما بتركته فقدوا جاما من فضة مخوصا بالذهب، فرفع إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فنزلت فأحلفهما، ثم وجد الجام بمكة فقالوا ابتعناه من تميم وعدي، فنزلت الآية الثانية فقام رجلان من أولياء السهم فحلفا، وفي رواية الترمذي فقام عمرو بن العاص ورجل آخر منهم فحلفا وكان أقرب إليه، وفي رواية فمرض فأوصى إليهما وأمرهما أن يبلغا ما ترك أهله، فلما مات أخذا الجام ودفعا إلى أهله ما بقي.
Ahsant. So that is quite a long paragraph. And in this verse number 106, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is highlighting a particular ruling, a particular injunction as a form of guidance and irshad when it comes to making a bequest at the time of death. Particularly when a person is perhaps traveling or is perhaps not at home. That when they're about to leave this world and they want to make a bequest, then they should appoint two witnesses. And then if there's some issues with those two witnesses, or if the heirs feel like there's something wrong, what is the process of correcting that wrong? What is the process of making sure that the bequest and the inheritance is going to those who are rightfully deserving of it? So here in verse number 106, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا شَهَادَةُ بَيْنِكُمْ إِذَا حَضَرَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَوْتِ حِينَ الْوَصِيَّةِ اثْنَانِ ذَوَا عَدْلٍ مِّنْكُمْ أَوْ آخَرَانِ مِنْ غَيْرِكُمْ إِنْ أَنْتُمْ ضَرَبْتُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ فَأَصَابَتْكُمْ مُصِيبَةُ الْمَوْتِ. That, O you who believe, when death approaches any of you, call upon two just Muslim men to witness as you make a bequest. Otherwise, two non-Muslims if you are afflicted with death while on a journey. تحبسونهما من بعد الصلاة فيقسمان بالله إن ارتبتم لا نشتري به ثمنا ولو كان ذا قربى ولا نكتم شهادة الله إنا إذا لمن الآثمين. If you doubt their testimony, keep them after prayer and let them testify under oath, saying, by Allah, we would never sell our testimony for any price, even in favor of a close relative, nor withhold the testimony of Allah. Otherwise, we would surely be sinful. So here Imam Suyuti rahimahullah writes, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, O you who have believed, O people of Iman, O you who believe in Allah and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the last day, shahadatu baynikum. Right, shahadatu baynikum, we can translate this as testimony between you. Right, testimony between you, or witnessing between you. إِذَا حَضَرَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَوْتِ, when death approaches one of you. أي أسبابه, meaning the causes of death. That when a person feels that they're about to leave this world and the causes of death have become apparent. For example, the person's extremely ill, they're on their deathbed, the doctor tells them they only have a few hours to live or whatever. A person feels that the causes of death are near, then shahadatu baynikum, then you should have the testimony and witnessing. حين الوصية, at what time? At the time of making a bequest. At the time of making the bequest, and that shahada, that testimony should be ithnani dhawa adlin minkum, two just Muslim men. Right? Two just Muslim men. Ithnani, two, dhawa adlin, just, minkum, from among you, meaning amongst the Muslims. So the translation altogether again is, O you who have believed, when death approaches any of you, call upon two Muslim men to witness as you make a bequest. And here he says, khabarun, that the way this sentence is structured grammatically speaking is that it is al-jumlatul khabariyah. It is a informative sentence. But he's saying it's an informative sentence bima'na al-amri. But it conveys the meaning of a command, liyashhad, that this is what should be done. That at the time of death, when a person is making a bequest, then he should make two Muslim men who are upright and just witnesses. وَإِضَافَةُ شَهَادَةُ لِبَيْنَ. Right, and he's now mentioning another grammatical point, is that when you look in the verse, the word shahadatu is mudaf, grammatically speaking, and the word bayni is the mudaf ilay. So he's saying the idafa of shahada to this word bayni, which is a dharf, ala al-ittisa'i. Right, it is upon ittisa', where when it comes to dhuruf, you can do certain things with it grammatically that you normally wouldn't do. So he's saying that grammatically speaking, this is still correct. That the word shahada is mudaf to the word bayni. Ala al-ittisa'. Wa hina, right, the word hina al-wasiyah, is badalun. It is the replacement, it is the substitute for the word idha, which is idha hadara. O dharfun, or it can also serve as the dharf, meaning the adverb of time, li hadara. So he's just explaining the grammatical construction of the sentence and different ways of understanding what's being conveyed. So he's saying that the word hina can be the badal, it can be the substitute, it can be the replacement for the word idha. So, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, shahadatu baynikum, إذا حضر أحدكم الموت, or شهادة بينكم حين الوصية. Right? So their badal, the إذا حضر أحدكم الموت will be the mubdal min, and the badal, the substitute, could be حين الوصية. So what badal means is you can remove the mubdal min from the sentence and you put the badal there, it conveys the same meaning. And that meaning that's being conveyed again is that at the time of bequest, right, at the time of the bequest, when death approaches any of you, you should call upon 2 Muslim men to witness as you make this bequest. أو آخران من غيركم, or 2 others. 2 others not from you, meaning 2 non-Muslims. Right? 2 non-Muslims, أو آخران من غيركم, أي غير ملتكم, that aren't from your way of life, that aren't from the same religion as you. So meaning 2 non-Muslims. When? إن أنتم ضربتم سافرتم في الأرض. If you are traveling across the earth, فأصابتكم مصيبة الموت, and the affliction of death comes upon you. So again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is advising the believers that at the time of death, when a person is making a bequest, he should make 2 just Muslims a witness to that bequest. And if a person's traveling and there aren't any Muslims available, then you can even make 2 non-Muslim people who are just as the witnesses to that particular bequest. Then he continues, فَيُقْسِمَانِ يَحْلِفَانِ بِاللَّهِ إِنِ ارْتَبْتُمْ شَكَكْتُمْ فِيهِمَا. فَيُقْسِمَانِ, right? They will take an oath by Allah. فَيُقْسِمَانِ, it is the dual from the verb أقسم. Right? This is the present tense verb from the verb أقسم يقسم, which means to take an oath or to swear an oath. And the word حلف يحلف means the same thing. So he's explaining that يقسماني means يحلفاني بالله. They will swear by Allah. They will take an oath by Allah. إن ارتبتم شككتم فيهما. If you doubt them, if you doubt their testimony, if you doubt them witnessing what happened at the time of the bequest, or if you feel like perhaps they're lying or they're concealing or they're deceiving in some way, shape or form, يقسماني بالله. They will be made to take an oath, they will swear by Allah. وَيَقُولَانِ, and in that oath they will say, لَا نَشْتَرِي بِهِ بِاللَّهِ ثَمَنًا وَلَوْ كَانَ ذَا قُرْبًا. Right? They will say under oath that by Allah, we would never sell our testimony for any price, even in favor of a close relative. Right? You will detain them after the prayer, and if you have some doubt and they shall swear by Allah, we shall not take a price for it, even if there be a relative. So, فَأَصَابَتْكُمْ مُصِيبَةُ الْمَوْتِ تَحْبِسُونَهُمَا. I skipped a line, عفوا. Right, so إِنْ أَنْتُمْ ضَرَبْتُمْ, if you're traveling, فَأَصَابَتْكُمْ مُصِيبَةُ الْمَوْتِ, and then the musiba, the affliction of death comes upon you, تَحْبِسُونَهُمَا تُوفِقُونَهُمَا صِفَةُ آخَرَانِ. Right, تَحْبِسُونَهُمَا, you will keep both of them. تُوقِفُونَهُمَا, you will withhold both of them, stop them. And he's saying this تَحْبِسُونَهُمَا, this verb, along with its فاعل مفعول به, is the sifa. It is the adjective for آخراني من بعد الصلاة. You will keep them after prayer. You will withhold them. You will detain them after prayer. And which prayer he says it referring to? A Salat al-Asr. And this was based upon their custom and their urf, that when some serious matter would take place, they would oftentimes meet together after Asr and have people take oaths and bear witness after Asr prayer. So he explains it that min ba'd salah, it means after Salatul Asr, based on their custom and culture. فَيُقْسِمَانِ يَحْلِفَانِ بِاللَّهِ, and they will swear, they will take an oath by Allah, إِنْ ارْتَبْتُمْ شَكَكْتُمْ فِيهِمَا. If you have doubts regarding them, if you have doubts regarding their testimony and what they're saying, they witness at the time of death and at the bequest, وَيَقُولَانِ, and they will say, لَا نَشْتَرِي بِهِ بِاللَّهِ. We will not purchase, right, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ثَمَنًا عِوَضًا نَأْخُذُهُ بَدَلَهُ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Right, and عِوَضًا, meaning some sort of commodity, some sort of item that we take in exchange from worldly things. Basically, we're not going to sell ourselves. We are not selling ourselves. We are not going to make a false testimony for some paltry worldly gain. بأن نحلف به أو نشهد به كاذبا لأجله. By نحلف به, by swearing by Allah, or نشهد به, or bearing witness and testimony, كاذبا, falsely, right? Giving false testimony لأجله, for some worldly gain. And that's why it's translated as that they will say by Allah, we would never sell our testimony for any price. We would never sell our testimony for any price. وَلَوْ كَانَ ذَا قُرْبَى. Right? Even if it involves a close relative. And وَلَوْ كَانَ الْمُقْسَمُ لَهُ. Even if the person for whom the oath is being taken, أو مشهوده, or even the thing that's being witnessed upon, ذَا قُرْبَى قَرَابَةٍ مِنَّا, is a close relative of ours. وَلَا نَكْتُمُ شَهَادَةَ اللَّهِ. And we will not conceal the testimony of Allah. Yani we will not conceal the evidence as due of Allah. We will not withhold the testimony of Allah. الَّتِي أُمِرْنَا بِإِقَامَتِهَا, which we have been commanded to uphold. إِنَّا إِذًا إِن كَتَمْنَاهَا لَمِنَ الْآثِمِينَ. If we do so, right? إِن كَتَمْنَاهَا, if we conceal that testimony, لَمِنَ الْآثِمِينَ, then we will truly be among the sinners. We will certainly be among the sinners. So the scenario that's being described, just for clarity's sake, because this might seem a little bit confusing, is that when a person is on their deathbed and they're about to leave this world and they're making a bequest, it is recommended for them to have two witnesses, to appoint two witnesses. And those two witnesses should be Muslim, they should be upright, they should be just. Now, if a person's traveling and they're on their deathbed and there's no Muslims around, then they can also appoint two non-Muslims who are upright and reliable and trustworthy as witnesses. Now, they have witnessed the bequest, and perhaps they have the possessions of the deceased. And now they're coming back and they're distributing it, but the waratha, the heirs or the people that were entitled to the bequest, doubt their testimony. That they feel for some reason these people might be lying and they might be concealing something. So they will be made to stay after prayer, because that's a time of importance, at least in that culture, and that time set, that urf. And then they will be made to take an oath that by Allah, right, we swear by Allah that we will not take a price for it, that we would never sell our testimony for any price, even if in favor of a close relative, nor we withhold the testimony of Allah. And if we do so, then we would certainly be sinful. Right? Then Allah continues, فَإِنْ عُثِرَ عَلَىٰ أَنَّهُ مُسْتَحَقَّ إِثْمًا فَآخَرَانِ يَقُومَانِ مَقَامَهُمَا مِنَ الَّذِينَ اسْتَحَقَّ عَلَيْهِمُ الْأَوْلَيَانِ. If they are found guilty of false testimony, let the deceased two closest heirs affected by the bequest replace the witness and testify under oath, saying, فَيُقْسِمَانِ بِاللَّهِ لَشَهَادَتُنَا أَحَقُّ مِنْ شَهَادَتِهِمَا وَمَا اعْتَدَيْنَا. That by Allah, our testimony is truer than theirs. وَمَا اعْتَدَيْنَا, and we have not transgressed. إِنَّا إِذًا لَمِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ, and if we have, we would surely be wrongdoers. So here Imam Suyuti says, فَإِنْ عُثِرَ اُطُّلِعَ بَعْدَ حَلْفِهِمَا عَلَى أَنَّهُمَا اسْتَحَقَّا إِثْمًا أي فعل ما يوجبه من خيانة أو كذب في الشهادة بأن وجد عندهما مثلا ما اتهما به وادعيا أنهما ابتاعاه من الميت أو وصالهما به فإن عثر اطلع. Right? If they are made aware, right? If they are made aware, or if it is discovered, اطلع, right? If it becomes apparent, it is discovered. بعد حلفهما, after they have taken their oath, after they have sworn by Allah, على أنهما استحقا إثما, that they are deserving of sin. Right? If it is discovered that those two witnesses had rendered themselves liable to a sin, meaning they have made themselves deserving of sin. Meaning, what does it mean? فَعَلَ مَا يُوجِبُهُ مِنْ خِيَانَةٍ. They both did something that results in them being sinful. مِنْ خِيَانَةٍ, in terms of deceit and cheating. أَوْ كَذِبٍ فِي الشَّهَادَةِ, or lying in testimony. بِأَنْ وُجِدَ عِنْدَهُمَا مَثَلًا مَا اتُّهِمَا بِهِ, For example, what they're being accused of hiding or concealing is found with them. Right? Some item of the deceased, they say, hey, we don't have it, and he didn't give it to us, or he did give it to us, but he said it's for us. And you know that they're lying about that, and you find that commodity with them. بِأَنْ وُجِدَ عِنْدَهُمَا مَثَلًا مَتُّهِمَا بِهِ. Right? What they're being accused of, you find it with them. وَادَّعَيَا. And then they claim أَنَّهُمَا ابْتَاعَهُ مِنَ الْمَيِّتِ. And then they make this claim that, hey, we purchased this from the deceased person. أَوْ وَصَّانَهُمَا بِهِ. Or he bequeathed it to us. Right? So obviously there's something wrong going on, that they're lying, or these are apparent qara'in, these are apparent indications that they're lying, they're not telling the truth, they're concealing something. So if that's the case, فَآخَرَانِ يَقُومَانِ مَقَامَهُمَا. Then two other people will take their place. Right? Two other people will take their place. فِي توجه اليمين عليهما. In terms of now them being responsible to take an oath. Right? Of the oath of swearing by Allah being directed to them. مِنَ الَّذِينَ اسْتُحِقَّ عَلَيْهِمْ. مِنَ الَّذِينَ اسْتُحِقَّ عَلَيْهِمْ الْوَصِيَّةُ وَهُمُ الْوَرَثَةُ وَيُبْدَلُ مِنْ آخَرَانِ الْأَوْلَيَانِ بِالْمَيِّتِ. So if it is discovered that the two had rendered themselves liable to sin, then in their place shall stand two others, closest of those whose right has been taken away. Right? So مِنَ الَّذِينَ أُسْتُحِقَّ عَلَيْهِمْ. Meaning they're entitled to it, which is al-wasiyah. Meaning they're entitled to this bequest. And who are those people that are entitled to the bequest? هُمُ الْوَرَثَةِ. They are the heirs. وَيُبْدَلُ مِنْ آخَرَانِ. And the badal of akharan is al-awlayan bil-mayyit. Meaning those who are closest to the deceased, al-aqrabani ilay. The two closest individuals to the deceased person. وَفِي قِرَاءَ. In another recitation it's al-awwalina. جَمْعُ أَوَّلٍ صِفَةٌ أَوْ بَدَلٌ مِنَ الَّذِينَ. And there's another qira'ah that instead of al-awlayan, it is recited al-awwalina. And al-awwalina is the plural of the word awwal, and that would be an adjective, or it would be a substitute and replacement for the word الذين. يعني من الذين استحق عليهم, meaning it will be من الأولين. So that is another qira'ah, and that is another way of reciting it. So basically these two relatives will now come and replace those two witnesses. And now they will take an oath, and they will swear. فَيُقْسِمَانِ بِاللَّهِ. They will swear by Allah عَلَى خِيَانَةِ الشَّاهِدَيْنِ. They will swear by Allah upon the treachery, the deceit, or the deception of the two witnesses. وَيَقُولَانِ. And they will say, لَشَهَادَتُنَا يَمِينُنَا. Our testimony, meaning our oath, أَحَقُّ أَصْدَقُ, is more true, is more truthful, مِنْ شَهَادَتِهِمَا, than their testimony, than their oath. يَمِينِهِمَا. وَمَا اعْتَدَيْنَا. And we have not transgressed, we have not crossed the bounds. تَجَاوَزْنَا الْحَقَّ فِي الْيَمِينِ. We have not crossed and overstepped the truth in our oath. إِنَّا إِذًا لَمِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. And if we do, then we will be among the wrongdoers. Right? So now Imam Suyuti himself explains. Right? He explains this whole process, what's going on. He says, al-ma'na, right? The meaning of these two verses. لِيُشْهِدَ الْمُحْتَضَرُ عَلَى وَصِيَّتِهِ إِثْنَيْنِ أَوْ يُوصِي إِلَيْهِمَا مِنْ أَهْلِ دِينِهِ أَوْ غَيْرِهِمْ إِنْ فَقَدَهُمْ لِسَفَرٍ وَنَحْوٍ. That al-muhtadar, the person who's on their deathbed, right, should make witnesses, should make two witnesses upon his bequest. Right? Al-muhtadaru, the person who's on their deathbed. Right? لِيُشْهِدَ. He should make two witnesses, إِثْنَيْنِ. Right? The person who's on his deathbed should make two witnesses upon his bequest. أَوْ يُوصِي إِلَيْهِمَا. Or he should make a bequest to them. مِنْ أَهْلِ دِينِهِ. And those two people should be from his deen, should be the same religion as him, of Islam. أَوْ غَيْرِهِمْ. Or two people that aren't from his religion. إِنْ فَقَدَهُمْ. If they're not available. لِسَفَرٍ وَنَحْوِهِ. Because he's on a journey or something similar to that. So again, the person who's about to leave this world, who's about to die, he should make two witnesses upon his bequest. Or he should bequest to them what they should do with his wealth. And those two people ideally should be Muslim. And if Muslims are not available because he's traveling or whatever else, then it could be two non-Muslims as well. فَإِنِ ارْتَابَ الْوَرَثَةُ فِيهِمَا. But if the heirs have some suspicions and doubts regarding those two witnesses that were present at the time of death, فَادَّعَوْا أَنَّهُمَا خَانَ. And they claim that those two witnesses have done some sort of khiyana. They have cheated, they have deceived, they have lied. Right? بِأَخْذِ شَيْءٍ. By taking something that didn't belong to them, أو دفعه إلى شخص, or that they gave it to some person, زعما أن الميت أوصى له به, thinking that the deceased person bequeathed it to them. Right? So basically the waratha have some suspicions and they have some doubts regarding these two witnesses. And what are that suspicion and doubt? That they're doing some sort of khiyana in their testimony. They're cheating, they're not being truthful, they're not telling the truth, they're concealing, they're hiding something. How? That they took something that was left behind, or they gave that something to someone else, thinking that that's what the person had bequeathed to them. فَلْيَحْلِفَا إِلَى آخِرِهِ. So then they should take an oath until the end of the sequence was mentioned in the verse. Meaning they will take an oath. Right? Those two witnesses will swear by Allah that, we are not lying, and if we're lying, and if we are giving a false testimony, then we will be sinful. But then later on you find out that yes, they were lying, then the waratha themselves will take an oath. And they will swear by Allah that their oath is more truthful than theirs. And if they're telling a lie, then they are amongst the wrongdoers. فَإِنْ أُطُّلِعَ عَلَى أَمَارَةٍ تُكَذِّبُهُمَا. So if they become aware of a sign that belies the two witnesses, who meaning the waratha, right? If the heirs become aware of an amara, of some sort of indication, some sort of sign, some sort of external evidence, تُكَذِّبُهُمَا, that is belying the two witnesses, فَادَّعَيَا, and they claim دَافِعًا لَهُ, right? And they claim دَافِعًا لَهُ حَلَفَ أَقْرَبُ الْوَرَثَةِ عَلَى كِذْبِهِمَا وَصِدْقِ مَدَّعَوْهُ. Right? They will, the closest waratha, the closest heirs, will then swear that those two witnesses are lying and that their claim is truthful. And then he says, وَالْحُكْمُ ثَابِتٌ فِي الْوَصِيَّيْنِ. Right? And then the hukm, right after this process, the ruling will be established for the two heirs, مَنْسُوخٌ فِي الشَّاهِدَيْنِ, and will be abrogated in terms of the two witnesses. وَكَذَا شَهَادَةُ غَيْرِ أَهْلِ الْمِلَّةِ مَنْسُوخًا. And similarly, the shahada, the testimony of those two non-Muslims, if that was the case, will also be abrogated and will not be considered. Rather, what will be given consideration is the testimony of the heirs. وَاعْتِبَارُ صَلَاةِ الْعَصْرِ لِلتَّغْلِيظِ. And giving consideration to Salatul Asr, meaning highlighting that Salatul Asr لِلتَّغْلِيظ is to give importance and severity to the matter. وَتَخْصِيصُ الْحَلْفِ فِي الْآيَةِ بِاثْنَيْنِ مِنْ أَقْرَبِ الْوَرَثَةِ لِخُصُوصِ الْوَاقِعَةِ الَّتِي نَزَلَتْ لَهَا. And the oath being specified with two people from the closest relatives, right? Two of the closest relatives, is because that is what is mentioned in the story in response to which these verses was revealed. Otherwise, however many heirs there are, that's who will take an oath. The verse just says two because that's what happened in the incident that forms the background or context of these verses. So that's what he highlights. Then next, وَهِيَ مَا رَوَاهُ الْبُخَارِ. Right? And the waqi'ah, the incident in response to which these verses was revealed, is what has been narrated by al-Bukhari rahimahullah. أَنَّ رَجُلًا مِّن بَنِي سَهْمٍ خَرَجَ مَعَ تَمِيمِ الدَّارِ وَعَدِيِّ بْنِ بَدَّاءٍ. That an individual, a man from Banu Sahm, went out on a journey with Tamim al-Dari and Adi ibn Badda. وَهُمَا نَصْرَانِيًّان. And at that time, both of them were Christians. Right? Tamim al-Dari and Adi ibn Badda, they were both Christians. فَمَاتَ السَّهْمِيُّ بِأَرْضٍ لَيْسَ فِيهَا مُسْلِمٌ. So this man from Banu Sahm, he passed away in an area in which there were no Muslims. فَلَمَّا قَدِمَ بِتَرَكَتِهِ. Right? So when they returned, right, when they returned and came back with his belongings, بِتَرَكَتِهِ, with his estate, whatever belongings he had with him, فَقَدُوا جَامًا مِنْ فِضَّةٍ مُخَوَّصًا بِالذَّهَبِ. They missed, or they found that a particular container, like a jug that was made of silver with gold lines in it, was missing. Right? That thing from his belongings was missing. فَرُفِعَ إِلَى النَّبِيِّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. So the heirs, they took this case to the Prophet ﷺ, that look, our relative passed away in a foreign land, and these two people have brought back his belongings, but we don't find this particular item of his with them, and it's missing. And we think that there might be something wrong, and they might be concealing or hiding something. So فَرُفِعَ إِلَى النَّبِيِّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. So this case was brought to the Prophet ﷺ, فَنَزَلَتْ. So this verse was revealed, meaning verse number 106 was revealed. فَأَحْلَفَهُمَا. So he made them both take this oath. Right? He made them both take this and swear by Allah that they're not lying and they're not concealing anything from the testimony. And if they're lying and concealing anything, then they will be from the sinners. So فَأَحْلَفَهُمَا ثُمَّ وُجِدَ الْجَامُ بِمَكَّةِ. And then later that jug, that container was found in Mecca. فَقَالُوا. So then the witnesses, which were Tamim al-Dari and Adi ibn Badasa, ابتعناه من تميم وعدي. Or these people in Mecca said, we purchased it from Tamim and Adi. Right, so that jam, that jug or that container was found in Mecca. So the people who had it said, we purchased it, we bought it from Tamim and Adi. فنزلت الآية الثانية. Then that next verse, which is verse number 107, was revealed. That if you find out that they did something sinful, then you take an oath. The heirs take an oath, that their oath and their swearing and their yameen is truer than theirs, and if they're not telling the truth, then they will be amongst the wrongdoers. فَقَامَ رَجُلَانِ مِنْ أَوْلِيَاءِ السَّهْمِ فَحَلَفَ. So two men from the awliya of the sahmi, yani from the heirs and from the family of the man who passed away, stood up and gave their oath and testimony and swore by Allah. وَفِي رِوَايَةِ التِّرْمِذِي. And in the narration that's found in Tirmidhi regarding this incident, قَامَ عَمْرُ بْنُ الْعَاصِ وَرَجُلٌ آخَرُ مِنْهُمْ فَحَلَفَ. That the two individuals that stood up were Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anh, and another man from amongst Banu Sahm, and they took the oath. وَكَانَ أَقْرَبَ إِلَيْهِ. And they were the two closest relatives to the deceased individual. وَفِي رِوَايَةٍ. In another narration, فَمَرِضَ. That this Sahmi became sick, فَأَوْصَى إِلَيْهِمَا. And he made this bequest to Tamim al-Dari and the other individual, Adi. وَأَمَرَهُمَا. And he told them, أَنْ يُبَلِّغَا مَا تَرَكَ أَهْلَهُ. That to deliver what he left to his family. فَلَمَّا مَاتَ. So when he passed away, أَخَذَا الْجَامِ. They took this jug, they took this container, وَدَفَعَا إِلَى أَهْلِهِ مَا بَقِيَ. And they gave whatever was remaining to his family. And then when his family noticed that this jug was missing, they brought the case to the Prophet ﷺ, and that first verse was revealed. And then when they found out that yes, there was something wrong and they did something sinful, the second verse was revealed. Now go ahead and read that next paragraph. Bismillah.
قال الإمام السيوطي رحمه الله: ذلك الحكم المذكور من رد اليمين على الورثة أدنى أقرب إلى أن يأتوا أي الشهود أو الأوصية بالشهادة على وجهها الذي تحملوها عليه من غير تحريف ولا خيانة، أو أقرب إلى أن يخافوا أن ترد أيمان بعد أيمانهم على الورثة المدعين فيحلفون على خيانتهم وكذبهم فيفتضحون ويغرمون، فلا يكذبوا، واتقوا الله بترك الخيانة والكذب، واسمعوا ما تؤمرون به سماع قبول، والله لا يهدي القوم الفاسقين الخارجين عن طاعته إلى سبيل الخير.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala concludes this topic by saying, ذَلِكَ أَدْنَى أَن يَأْتُوا بِالشَّهَادَةِ عَلَى وَجْهِهَا. In this way, it is more likely that witnesses will give true testimony. أَوْ يَخَافُوا أَن تُرَدَّ أَيْمَانٌ بَعْدَ أَيْمَانِهِمْ. Or else fear that their oaths could be refuted by those of the heirs. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَاسْمَعُوا. Be mindful of Allah and listen. Right? Be mindful of Allah and listen. وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْفَاسِقِينَ. for Allah does not guide the rebellious people. So here he says, ذَلِكَ الْحُكْمُ الْمَذْكُورُ, right? Thus, or that, الْحُكْمُ الْمَذْكُورُ, the ruling that has been mentioned, مِنْ رَدِّ الْيَمِينِ عَلَى الْوَرَثَةِ, of turning the oath over to the heirs, أَدْنَى أَقْرَبُ إِلَىٰ أَنْ يَأْتُوا, right? It is more likely, it is closer, أَنْ يَأْتُوا بِالشَّهَادَةِ عَلَى وَجْهِهَا, that the witnesses will then give true testimony, right? Thus, it is more likely that the former people will bear witness in its proper way. So, أَدْنَى أَقْرَبُ إِلَىٰ أَنْ يَأْتُوا أَيْ الشُّهُودُ أَوْ الْأَوْصِيَاءُ, that this way, if you follow this ruling that's mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it is more likely, it is closer that the witnesses or those who receive the bequest will do it properly. يَأْتُوا بِالشَّهَادَةِ عَلَى وَجْهِهَا, that they will give true testimony, right? They will bear witness in its proper way. How? الَّذِي تَحَمَّلُوهَا عَلَيْهِ, right? مِنْ غَيْرِ تَحْرِيفٍ وَلَا خِيَانَةٍ, without altering anything and without being deceitful and cheating. أو أقرب إلى أن يخافوا أن ترد أيمان بعد أيمانهم, or it is more likely then they will fear that oaths will be taken in rebuttal of their oaths. Right? They will fear that their oaths could be refuted by those of the heirs. So أقرب, it's closer that they will fear that their oaths ترد أيمان بعد أيمانهم, that oaths will be taken after their oaths, على الورثة المدعين, upon the heirs that are making the claim, فيحلفون على خيانتهم وكذبهم فيفتضحون ويغرمون فلا يكذبوا, right? And then the heirs will take an oath upon their khiyana, their treachery and their deception and cheating and their lying, فيفتضحون, and they will be exposed and embarrassed, ويغرمون, and then they will be liable as well, they'll be financially liable, فلا يكذبوا, so then they will not lie. Meaning, if this ruling is followed and if this procedure is followed, then it is more likely that these witnesses will bear their testimony properly and correctly. And if they don't bear it properly and correctly, at least they fear that their oaths can be rebutted. And because of that, they will not then lie, and they will not lie regarding what happened. And then Allah mentions the catalyst behind that, the main cause behind that, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. So be mindful, be conscious, be aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, بِتَرْكِ الْخِيَانَةِ وَالْكَذِبِ, by avoiding khiyana and lying, وَاسْمَعُوا مَا تُؤْمَرُونَ بِهِ سَمَاعَ قَبُولٍ, and listen to what you're commanded to do, a listening of acceptance, meaning listen and accept, listen and obey. وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْفَاسِقِينَ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide rebellious people or sinning people. And again, he explains al-fasiqeen as al-kharijina an ta'ati, those who have exited the obedience of Allah, those who have left the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ila sabil al-khair. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide those who have left the obedience of Allah to the path of goodness, meaning to the path of righteousness. Now go ahead and read for us the next page of the Mus'haf, followed by the first paragraph of the Tafsir on this page. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يوم يجمع الله الرسل فيقول ماذا أجبتم قالوا لا علم لنا إنك أنت علام الغيوب قال الله يا عيسى ابن مريم اذكر نعمتي عليك وعلى والدتك إذ أيدتك بروح القدس تكلم الناس في المهد وكهلا وإذ علمتك الكتاب والحكمة والتوراة والإنجيل وإذ تخلق من الطين كهيئة الطير بإذني فتنفخ فيها فتكون طيرا بإذني وتبرئ الأكمه والأبرص بإذني وإذ تخرج الموتى بإذني وإذ كففت بني إسرائيل عنك إذ جئتهم بالبينات فقال الذين كفروا منهم إن هذا إلا سحر مبين وإذ أوحيت إلى الحواريين أن آمنوا بي وبرسولي قالوا آمنا واشهد بأننا مسلمون قال الحواريون يا عيسى بن مريم هل يستطيع ربك أن ينزل علينا مائدة من السماء قال اتقوا الله إن كنتم مؤمنين قالوا نريد أن نأكل منها وتطمئن قلوبنا ونعلم أن قد صدقتنا ونكون عليها من الشاهدين قال رحمه الله اذكر يوم يجمع الله رسله يوم القيامة فيقول لهم توبيخا لقومهم ماذا أي ما الذي أجبتم به حين دعوتم الناس إلى التوحيد قالوا لا علم لنا بذلك إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت علام الغيوب ما غاب عن العباد وذهب عنهم علمه لشدة هول يوم القيامة وفزعهم ثم يشهدون على أممهم لما يسكنون.
Na'am. So here in this next verse, in verse 109, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now changing the subject matter. And essentially from here until the end of the surah, the major theme and topic is related to Isa alayhi salam and the concept of belief in the oneness and the might and the power and glory and magnificence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is in these last few verses and passage of the surah that we are going to come across the incident of al-Ma'idah, from which the surah derives its name. So here in verse 109, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُ اللَّهُ الرُّسُلَ فَيَقُولُ مَاذَا أُجِبْتُمْ. The day when Allah will gather the messengers and say, what response did you receive? مَاذَا أُجِبْتُمْ. What response were you given? How were you responded to? قَالُوا لَا عِلْمَ لَنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ عَلَّامُ الْغُيُوبِ. They will reply, we have no knowledge. You are indeed the knower of all unseen. We have no knowledge. Surely you alone have the full knowledge of all that is unseen. So here Imam As-Suyuti rahimahullah says that before the verse there is a verb that is inferred, that is understood, which is أذكر. أذكر يوم يجمع الله الرسل. Remember and mention the day when Allah will gather the messengers. وَهُوَ يَوْمُ الْقِيَامَةِ. And that is the day of resurrection, that is the day of judgment. فَيَقُولُ لَهُمْ تَوْبِيخًا لِقَوْمِهِمْ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to the messengers as a reprimand for their people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask this question to the messengers, but the purpose, the objective of this question is tawbih. It is to reprimand and scold their communities, right? Their people. And Allah will say, مَاذَا أُجِبْتُمْ. Right? How did they respond to you? What response were you given? How were you responded to? So ماذا أي ما الذي أجبتم به. What is it that you were responded with? What exactly was the response? حين دعوتم الناس إلى التوحيد. When you invited and called people towards Tawheed. What was the response? When you invited and called people towards the truth and affirming, acknowledging and accepting the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how were you responded to? What was the response? قَالُوا لَا عِلْمَ لَنَا. The messengers on that day will respond, لَا عِلْمَ لَنَا. We have no knowledge. Right? We have no knowledge, بِذَلِكَ, regarding that, إِلَّا مَا عَلَّمْتَنَا. Except what you have taught us. Except what you have revealed to us. إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ عَلَّامُ الْغُيُوبِ. Because truly you alone are the all-knower. Allam. You are the all-knower of al-ghuyub, the unseen, or all that is unseen. And then he himself explains what is ghaib. مَا غَابَ عَنِ الْعِبَادِ. Those things that are hidden and concealed from the servants. وَذَهَبَ عَنْهُمْ عِلْمُهُ. And its knowledge is also hidden and concealed from them. Now why will they say this? لِشِدَّةِ هَوْلِ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ وَفَزِعِهِمْ. Right? Because of the severity of the terrors of the day of judgment and their fear. ثُمَّ يَشْهَدُونَ. And then they will bear witness and testify against their nations and communities لَمَّا يَسْكُنُونَ, when they settle down. Now, this is according to a particular interpretation that Imam as-Suyuti rahimahullah is going with, but according to several others, there's a better way of understanding this and a better way of interpreting this. And the reason why this whole discussion arises is because when they say La ilma lana, that we don't know, an objection arises is that the messengers do know, right? They do know how they were responded to, because they are the ones that experienced it firsthand. That initially they faced opposition and rejection, and people called them liars and opposed them in all different types of ways and forms. So why is it that they are going to say La ilma lana? So what this verse means is that on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will gather the messengers and He will pose this question to them. مَاذَا أَجَابَكُمْ أُمَمُكُمْ? That what response did your communities and your people give to you? وَمَا الَّذِي رَدَّ عَلَيْكُمْ قَوْمُكُمْ حِينَ دَعَوْتُمُوهُمْ فِي الدَّارِ الدُّنْيَا إِلَى تَوْحِيدِ وَطَاعَتِ? And what response did they give to you when you invited them towards affirming my oneness and obeying me? You know, what was their response? وَفَائِدَةُ هَذَا السُّؤَالِ, and the purpose of this question, تَوْبِيخُ أُمُمِ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ, is to reprimand and scold the communities and nations of the prophets, particularly those members of the community that rejected them. Right? By asking this question, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is scolding and reprimanding basically the non-believers. And then the messengers will respond and they'll say, La ilma lana, we have no knowledge. So Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says, La ilma lana ka ilmika fihim. We have no knowledge, meaning we have no knowledge similar to your knowledge regarding them. لِأَنَّكَ تَعْلَمُ مَا أَضْمَرُوا وَمَا أَظْهَرُوا. Because you are aware of what they expressed and what they hid. Right? You are fully aware of what they concealed and what they expressed. وَنَحْنُ لَا نَعْلَمُ إِلَّا مَا أَظْهَرُوا. And we only know what they expressed openly. فَعِلْمُكَ فِيهِمْ أَنْفَذُ مِنْ عِلْمِنَا وَأَبْلَغُ. So your knowledge regarding them and their condition is greater and more complete. فَعَلَى هَذَا الْقَوْلِ إِنَّمَا نَفَوْا عِلْمَ عَنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَإِنْ كَانُوا عُلَمَاء لِأَنَّ عِلْمَهُمْ صَارَ كَلَا عِلْمٍ بِالنِّسْبَةِ لِعِلْمِ اللَّهِ. So the way that they're explaining this is they say we have no knowledge, because in comparison to the knowledge of Allah, it's as if they had no knowledge whatsoever. That when you compare the knowledge of the messengers to the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's as if they had no knowledge whatsoever. And that is a more, you can say, appropriate way of explaining this particular aspect, instead of saying that they will respond that we don't know because of the extreme fear and terror that they will experience on the Day of Judgment. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says regarding them elsewhere in the Quran that لَا يَحْزُنُهُمُ الْفَزَعُ الْأَكْبَرُ, that al-Faza'ul Akbar, the Day of Judgment, will not cause them to feel sorrow and sadness and fear and terror, etc. That they will be protected from that. Okay. But then this is how Imam Suyuti is explaining it, is that they will respond like this: لِشِدَّةِ هَوْلِ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ, because of the severity of the terrors of the Day of Judgment, وَفَزِعِهِمْ, and because of their own fear. And then after that subsides, then they will bear witness upon their nations, لَمَّا يَسْكُنُونَ, right, when they calm down and when that fear resides. Go ahead and read that next paragraph. Bismillah.
قال رحمه الله: اذكر إذ قال الله يا عيسى بن مريم اذكر نعمتي عليك وعلى والدتك شكرها إذ أيدتك قويتك بروح القدس جبريل تكلم الناس. حال من الكاف في أيدتك في المهد أي طفلا، وكهلا يفيد نزوله قبل الساعة لأنه رفع قبل الكهولة كما سبق في آل عمران. وإذ علمتك الكتاب والحكمة والتوراة والإنجيل وإذ تخلق من طين كهيئة كصورة الطير، والكاف اسم بمعنى مثل مفعول، بإذني فتنفخ فيها فتكون طيرا بإذني بإرادتي، وتبرئ الأكمه والأبرص بإذني، وإذ تخرج الموتى من قبورهم أحياء بإذني، وإذ كففت بني إسرائيل عنك حين هموا بقتلك إذ جئتهم بالبينات المعجزات، وقال الذين كفروا منهم إن ما هذا الذي جئت به إلا سحر مبين وفي قراءة ساحر أي عيسى وإذ أوحيت إلى الحواريين أمرتهم على لسانه أي بأن آمنوا بي وبرسولي عيسى قالوا آمنا بهما واشهد بأننا مسلمون.
Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is bringing this narrative from the life of Isa alayhi salam. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ يَا عِيسَى بْنَ مَرْيَمْ أُذْكُرْ نِعْمَتِي عَلَيْكَ وَعَلَى وَالِدَتِكَ. That, O Isa alayhi salam, right? O Isa, son of Maryam, remember my favor upon you and your mother. إِذْ أَيَّدْتُكَ بِرُوحِ الْقُدُسِ. How I supported you with the Holy Spirit. تُكَلِّمُ النَّاسَ فِي الْمَهْدِ وَكَهْلًا. So you spoke to people in your infancy and adulthood. وَإِذْ عَلَّمْتُكَ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَالتَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ. How I taught you writing, wisdom, the Torah and the Injil. وَإِذْ تَخْلُقُ مِنَ الطِّينِ كَهَيْئَةِ الطَّيْرِ بِإِذْنِي فَتَنْفُخُ فِيهَا فَتَكُونُ طَيْرًا بِإِذْنِي. And how you molded a bird from clay by my will and breathed into it and it became a bird by my will. وَتُبْرِئُ الْأَكْمَهَ وَالْأَبْرَصَ بِإِذْنِي وَإِذْ تُخْرِجُ الْمَوْتَى بِإِذْنِي. And how you healed the blind and the lepers by my will, and how you brought the dead back to life by my will. وَإِذْ كَفَفْتُ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ عَنْكَ إِذْ جِئْتَهُمْ بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ فَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْهُمْ إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا سِحْرٌ مُبِينٌ. And how I prevented the children of Israel from harming you when you came to them with clear proofs, and the disbelievers among them said, this is nothing but pure magic. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding Isa alayhi salam of all of these amazing favors and blessings that he had bestowed upon him. So here Imam Suyuti starts by saying there is a particular verb that is understood and inferred before this verse, and that is uthkur, that remember, and it's being addressed to the Prophet ﷺ, or even anyone who's reading it. Uthkur, remember, إِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya Isa ibn Maryam, O Isa son of Maryam alayhi salam, أُذْكُرْ نِعْمَتِي عَلَيْكَ وَعَلَى وَالِدَتِكَ. Remember my favor upon you and upon your mother. بِشُكْرِهَا, by being grateful and thankful for it. When? Which favors? إِذْ أَيَّدْتُكَ قَوَّيْتُكَ بِرُوحِ الْقُدُسِ. When I helped you, when I supported you, when I gave you strength with Ruh al-Qudus, the Holy Spirit, Jibreel, which is Jibreel alayhi salam. تُكَلِّمُ النَّاسِ حَالٌ مِنَ الْكَافِ فِي أَيَّدْتُكَ. Here he's saying that this, speaking to people, this sentence is serving the role of hal. It is the circumstantial adverb from the kaf, meaning from the damir muttasil, from this pronoun, attached pronoun, in the verse ayyatuka. Yani id ayyatuka, like, remember my blessings upon you, of how I supported you and helped you and gave you strength with the Holy Spirit, right? While you spoke to people, right? While you spoke to people, fil mahdi, ay tiflan, when you were an infant, when you were a child, miraculously defending the honor of your mother, wa kahla, and when you speak to the people when you're an adult and mature, yufidu, and this part of him speaking to the people when he's mature and adult, yufid, it gives the benefit, nuzulahu qabla as-sa'ah, that he's going to return and come back down before the day of judgment. And the reason why Imam Suyuti mentions this is that kuhula, right? Kuhula and being kahal is a particular age of like 33. And Isa alayhi salam was raised up to the heavens before that time. So he's saying this is an indirect evidence and indirect proof that Isa alayhi salam will come back down and he will be sent down from the heavens before the end of times. Why? لِأَنَّهُ رُفِعَ قَبْلَ الْكُهُولَةِ, because he was lifted into the heavens and raised into the heavens before this age. كَمَا سَبَقَ فِي آلِ عِمْرَانِ, as has come before already in Surah Ali Imran. وَإِذْ عَلَّمْتُكَ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَالتَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ. Right, now this is another blessing. and we taught you al-kitab. Al-kitab here means al-kitabata. Right? We taught you how to write. Wal-hikmah, and we gave you wisdom and taught you wisdom. At-Tawrah, and the Torah and the Injil. وَإِذْ تَخْلُقُ مِنَ الطِّينِ. And another blessing is that when you create from clay, كَهَيْئَةِ كَصُورَةِ الطَّيْرِ, when you mold from clay and shape from clay something into the shape of a bird. وَالْكَافِ اسْمٌ بِمَعْنَى مِثْلٍ. Right, here the kaf before hay'a is actually an ism, which means mithl. Right? إِذْ تَخْلُقُ مِنَ الطِّينِ. Right? مِثْلَ هَيْئَةِ الطَّيْرِ. Something similar to the shape and form of a bird. بِإِذْنِي, by my will. فَتَنْفُخُ فِيهَا, and then you breathe into it. فَتَكُونُ طَيْرًا بِإِذْنِي, and what you molded and shaped becomes a bird. بِإِذْنِي, by my permission, يعني بإرادتي, by my will. وَتُبْرِئُ الْأَكْمَهَ وَالْأَبْرَصَ بِإِذْنِي, and you cure the blind and the leper by my will. وَإِذْ تُخْرِجُ الْمَوْتَى مِنْ قُبُورِهِمْ أَحْيَاءً, and you remove the deceased from their graves alive. بِإِذْنِي, by my will. وَإِذْ كَفَفْتُ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ عَنْكَ, and how we prevented, or how I prevented the children of Israel from you. حِينَ هَمُّوا بِقَتْلِكَ, when they made the firm resolution to kill you. إِذْ جِئْتَهُمْ بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ, when you came to them and you brought them clear proofs. Al-Mu'jizat, miracles. فَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْهُمْ, so those who disbelieved among them said, إِن مَا هَذَا الَّذِي جِئْتَ بِهِ, that what you have brought, right, what you have come to us with, إِلَّا سِحْرٌ مُبِينٌ, is pure magic, is nothing but pure magic. وَفِي قِرَاءَةٍ, and in another recitation, instead of إِلَّا سِحْرٌ مُبِينٌ, it's إِلَّا سَاحِرٌ مُبِينٌ, meaning it's referring to Isa alayhi salam. Yani in هذا إِلَّا سَاحِرٌ مُبِينٌ, meaning he is nothing but an open magician, an open sorcerer. وَإِذْ أَوْحَيْتُ إِلَى الْحَوَارِيِّينَ أَنْ آمِنُوا بِي وَبِرَسُولِي قَالُوا آمَنَّا وَاشْهَدْ بِأَنَّنَا مُسْلِمُونَ, and how I inspired the disciples and said, believe in me and my messenger, and they declared, we believe and bear witness that we fully submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yani, وَإِذْ أَوْحَيْتُ إِلَى الْحَوَارِيِّينَ, the literal translation is that when we revealed to the disciples. And what he says that means is, أَمَرْتُهُمْ, right, when I commanded them, عَلَى لِسَانِ, upon the tongue of Isa alayhi salam, أَنْ أَيْ بِأَنْ آمِنُوا, to believe in me, وَبِرَسُولِي, and my messenger Isa alayhi salam. قَالُوا, they said, آمَنَّا بِهِمَا, they said, we believe in both of them. وَاشْهَدْ بِأَنَّنَا مُسْلِمُونَ, and bear witness and testify that we are among, or we are the ones who submit totally and completely to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Go ahead and read the next paragraph.
قال رحمه الله: اذكر إذ قال الحواريون يا عيسى بن مريم هل يستطيع أن يفعل ربك، وفي قراءة بالفوقانية ونصب ما بعده أي تقدر أن تسأل أن ينزل علينا مائدة من السماء. قال لهم عيسى اتقوا الله في اقتراح الآيات إن كنتم مؤمنين. قالوا نريد سؤالها من أجل أن نأكل منها وتطمئن تسكن قلوبنا بزيادة اليقين ونعلم نزداد علما، أي أن مخففة، أي أنك قد صدقتنا في ادعاء النبوة وتكون عليها من الشاهدين.
Naam. So here in this next verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues, and now he's coming to the introduction of how the Hawariyun asked for this Ma'idah to be sent down as a miracle. So إِذْ قَالَ الْحَوَارِيُّونَ يَا عِيسَى ابْنَ مَرْيَمَ هَلْ يَسْتَطِيعُ رَبُّكَ أَن يُنَزِّلَ عَلَيْنَا مَائِدَةً مِنَ السَّمَاءِ. Remember when the disciples asked that, O Isa, son of Maryam, will your Lord send down to us a table spread, right? A table spread with food from heaven. And he replied, اتقوا الله إن كنتم مؤمنين, fear Allah if you are truly believers. So again, Imam Suyuti says that the verb uthkur is understood before here. Uthkur, remember, إذ, when, قال الحواريون, remember when the disciples said, Ya Isa ibn Maryam, O Isa son of Maryam, هل يستطيع ربك. The literal translation is that is your Lord able to? But the Hawariyun were believers, so they wouldn't ask that question. So he says what it means is أي يفعل. Will your Lord do the following? Right? Not is he able to, but will your Lord يفعل. Will your Lord do the following? Right? وفي قراءة, in another قراءة بالفوقانية, that instead of يستطيع, it's recited with a ta. Right? تستطيع ونصب ما بعده, and what's after it will be in the state of nasab a تقدر أن تسأله. Right? Are you able to ask him? And that is another qira'ah that conveys a slightly different meaning. That are you able, هل تستطيع, right? هل تستطيع, and then it will be ربك, meaning هل تستطيع أن تسأل ربك. Are you able to ask your Lord? أن ينزل علينا مائدة من السماء, to send down a ma'idah, a table spread from the heaven. Right? And then here he's also using a different qira'ah. Imam Suyuti is using verb form number 4. The verb أنزل ينزل. Whereas the qira'ah that we're used to uses verb form number 2, من باب التفعيل, which is نزل ينزل. So أن ينزل علينا مائدة من السماء, that will your Lord send down a table spread from the heaven. قال لهم عيسى, Isa alayhi salam said, اتقوا الله, fear Allah, be mindful, be conscious, be aware of Allah, في اقتراح الآيات, when it comes to suggesting and requesting ayat, signs and miracles. In kuntum mu'minin, if you are truly believers. So they responded saying, قالوا نريد أن نأكل منها وتطمئن قلوبنا ونعلم أن قد صدقتنا ونكون عليها من الشاهدين. They said, we wish to eat from it to reassure our hearts, so that our hearts could be satisfied, and to verify you are indeed truthful to us, and to become witnesses to it. So قالوا, right, the disciples, the Hawariyun responded, نريد سؤالها من أجل, that we asked this question and we are requesting this table spread for the following reason, right? من أجل أن نأكل منها, so that we can eat from it, وتطمئن تسكن قلوبنا, and so that our hearts can be reassured, our hearts can be content, بزيادة اليقين, with an increase in certainty, ونعلم, and that we can know, يعني نزداد علما, that our knowledge can increase, أن مخففة, يعني it was actually أن, meaning أنك قد صدقتنا, that you have told us the truth, في ادعاء النبوة, in your claim of prophethood, ونكون عليها من الشاهدين, and then we can be witnesses upon that. Now we are out of time for today, so we will stop here for today because we also reached the end of the page. Alhamdulillah, we reached to the end of verse number 113. So tomorrow we'll pick up with verse number 114, and we will conclude inshallah Surah al-Ma'idah, and we will start Surah al-An'am. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this effort of ours, to bless this effort of ours and place in our scale of good deeds on the Day of Judgment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this a means of increasing our understanding of the Quran and strengthening our relationship with the Quran. And may Allah make the Quran a proof for us, not a proof against us. And may He grant all of us the tawfiq, the ability to act upon the Quran and implement its teachings and guidance into our daily lives. وصلى اللهم على نبينا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.